All right, so yes, we got some pretty big warnings about classes in Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2, and you're going to want to know this before you hop into the game because you can end up making some major mistakes and waste a ton of time. Plus, you can accidentally change the entire flow of melee combat without even realizing it as you upgrade and progress your classes. This is probably why some journalists were actually struggling in earlier previews, and here's how you can avoid it happening to you. The melee counter system is a bit more nuanced than first realized. Plus, we're going over some other important news like a day one patch, more responses from the dev team, and some new free limited time customization rewards you need to get your hands on. And it looks like some fans are playing the game early in the worst possible way. So we're going to dive into that as well. So let's do this. So I say we start off with those warnings about the class system because yeah, you do not want to waste time in this game. So some weapons are actually shared between classes. This is extremely important. This means leveling up one weapon will benefit multiple classes. For example, the bolt pistol and chainsword are some of the most important weapons to level up at the beginning of the game, as it benefits every single class. Now, the heavy and bulwark classes also share a bunch of weapons like the bolt pistol, plasma pistol, and all melee weapons. So by identifying this out of the gates, you can work on upgrading two classes in one play session. And let me tell you what, this is important in Space Marine 2 co-op mode because it does not allow duplicate classes. So focusing up on two or more classes at once is extremely important when heading into operations mode. It's going to make your life extremely easy down the road. Now, we got to talk about being careful with the resources that you actually acquire as you level up. So you got to be careful about spending too much of your resources on paints, weapons, and other customization options because everything shares one type of resource. And that resource is this one right here known as requisition. You'll earn requisition through completing co-op missions and PvP, but do not neglect trials as well. You'll find these per class and you're going to want to run these because you get a whopping 450 requisition immediately to start off. So yeah, just go after that right when you get into the game and get those extra requisition points. It's going to help you upgrade fairly quickly right out the gates. But you can also get yourself into trouble by accidentally changing a function of your melee weapon if you're not paying attention as you progress through the perk tree. So weapons have different defense styles which change how you actually block. So we have three different styles here. We have block, balanced, and fencing for your melee weapon. So block is going to give you the best defense, but you will not be able to do a perfect parry. Now, balanced is going to probably be the most user-friendly. And then we have fencing, which is going to be opening your gameplay up to perfect parries. And if you aren't aware of this system, you might actually be left completely confused as to why melee is feeling kind of like off and weird. And it's probably why some journalists, by the way, in those early previews had some difficulties with the counter system. They just didn't know about this. So yeah, don't fall into that trap. So I'm hoping that all this info put together can help you guys have a smoother experience once you hop into Space Marine 2. But yeah, we got to talk about the other news here. We're going to start out with this one right here. It looks like the day one patch is already rolling out. So check it out. It says, received a 7 GB update today on Series X. Hey y'all, it's likely nothing interesting, but I felt like reporting this to see if anyone had the same thing. I got a 7 GB patch when I turned my console on today. Theories, it's probably a patch if I'm guessing. And there were some other confirmations in this thread as well, people saying the same thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're already rolling out some updates ahead of launch to really make sure that this game is fine-tuned and smooth. But I would still expect some sort of day one patch as well. That usually is the case with online games. Now we got another question out here. It says, cannot wait. When do we get it? I'm on PS and want to preload the game. Now this actually has kind of two responses here. It says the collector's edition will ship in time for early access on September 5th. The digital version on PlayStation 5 can be preloaded starting September 3rd. So yes, that is today. So if you have the PlayStation 5 digital version, go after it. Go start your download right now and get it ready. Also, yeah, check this out. It says you're not putting any DRM in at the last minute, correct? And we have a response from Folks Entertainment saying, nope, there's going to be no DRM in the game. In fact, they double down on this and issued a statement that they're not going to also be pursuing the Nevo and VRM as well. So that's a simple no to those two things, and it looks like that's not going to be changing whatsoever. But let me tell you what, I have some very strange news as well, and I have no idea why in the hell you would ever do this. There's some players that are playing an inferior version of Space Marine 2 right now. It's a leaked version, but let's see what Saber had to say about their game being leaked. It says, in a statement, developer Saber Interactive says that the leaked build will be almost a year old by the time of launch. This could be damage control after the leaker said the build was from last month, but files within the leak also suggested February, so the information is already muddled. Either way, I don't understand why anyone would willingly play an unfinished game when the final product is months away. You and me both. It does not make sense at all. And we actually have a quote from some people here. It's wild. It says this: I don't know if I can wait another month, to be honest. Writes one Twitter user in response. Why not? What goes through your head that results you in needing so urgently to play a double-A third-person IP shooter a month before everyone else? I get that people love Warhammer, I do too, but this game will be inconceivably better when the developers actually finish it, and there are plenty of other Warhammer games in the meantime. It almost feels like strangely malicious that people would do this, you know? You gotta remember that developers put years and years of their blood, sweat, and tears into this game, and I assure you they have worked their asses off on this game. It sure looks like it, at least to me. But yeah, to hear this is just like disheartening, and I just think it's plain wrong. But the good news is, I have to say that Saber kind of really counteracted this pretty immediately with those previews that we did see of Warhammer by YouTubers and press. They didn't have like an inferior version just out there. They had something to counteract it pretty much immediately. So that's the good news, at least. Now, we also need to talk about those free customization options that you can actually obtain. So check it out right here in their official blog post. It says, here's what you need to know about Twitch drops. This is Space Marines. Space Marine 2 is almost out for the release of the game. We partnered with Twitch and many streamers to reward you with exclusive content from September 4th until September 30th. You may earn up to 2 skins simply by watching Space Marine 2 content on any Twitch channel, and an additional one by watching a VIP partner. Look at this. These are actually looking really, really good right here. I love it. But yeah, it has all these directions. I'm not going to read over all of this. That'd be ridiculous. You guys can check it out in the description below. You're going to have to like link accounts and stuff like that. And there are some other Twitch streamers they have selected for this as well that are considered like the VIPs, and you're going to want to watch them to get your rewards. So that is one way to get some free customization out of the gates. And yes, it's now time for my favorite part of the video, going over your top comments. So let's do this. All right, so first of all, it says, I just want my flamethrower in all modes, not just the story, so I can really feel like a salamander. That would be very cool. And, you know, maybe that's in the plans, you know? I would imagine they would probably want to pursue that. Plus, yeah, we've already seen footage of it in the game. So yeah, I would imagine that that might actually make the jump into cooperative mode. PvP, I don't know about that, but yeah, co-op seems to make sense. Now it says, it feels so good to have devs that actually listen to their players and consumers. Absolutely. And we have, I will be playing a salamander, but unfortunately without the ability to customize the face. I'll be keeping the helmet on. Hopefully that is something they add. 191 upvotes here. So a lot of you want the option to customize your face. So this is something that I think that they should absolutely look into. And we got Maximo Maximus who says, eternal service nears, my brothers, for the Emperor. And we have Helldivers 2. We're communicating and listening. Then every patch was a nerf axe over words. Wait and see. Whoa. So we have some doubts here if Saber Interactive can live up to kind of like the hype of this communication. We shall see. Yeah, you know, we have seen, it's been unfortunate with Helldivers 2. There was so much hype, so much hope. And then they just absolutely botched it, didn't they? So I don't know if we'll ever see them get their crap together over there. But it would be nice if Saber Interactive was peeking in on that situation and being like, hell no, we are not making those mistakes. And we also have this one right here. It says, all you need to do for chaos customization is to make everyone happy is have armor type for all the classes that have no Legion affiliation. That could be a very good solution. Yeah. And they said they need not to take the road of Helldivers. Co-op should focus on fun, not necessarily challenge and nerfing fucking everything. Yeah, I agree. The nerfing stuff. Yeah, after covering so many games, it's the one thing when these devs go in and nerf stuff, it destroys the community. It pisses people off so much. Let me tell you what. All right, there it is. The latest happenings around Warhammer Space Marine 2. Look out for more coverage. I have you guys covered on this one. And yeah, there might be some surprises here in September. There's some really cool stuff coming up also later down the road in September, so look out for that. But thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time. Take care.